Ooh, let's watch this. How the internet destroyed Generation Alpha. This might be a good way to ruin my relationship with my relative by judging what their kids watch.
What are all those touchscreens doing to all those growing little brains?
Yes! Our kids these days always using the tablet to watch stuff. They're even pro than me in using the frigging tablet.
Holidays is, well, not toys, but skincare products.
What?
This year was skincare and makeup.
11-year-old
What?
Olivia Clyde is obsessed with beauty.
Even a boy is going.
This year was skincare and makeup.
I'm sorry. She just sounds. I guess she wants to sound older. What 11-year-old uses skincare products, huh? I haven't been using skincare products until I was 20 or something.
11-year-old Olivia Clyde is obsessed with beauty products.
Why would you do that? You still have baby skin. What?
Grade kid could not spell a single word correctly.
What is this? What's 9? Specifically, popsically. And I thought it's popsicle or something. Popsicle. Psycho. Accomplish. Oh god.
On this list, 8th grade.
Oh no!
Generation Alpha, the supposed future leaders and current generation of our
Yippee,
society. But with the way
baby.
they're growing up, will they actually be
Oh,
the future
no.
generation to make an impact? Or is Gen Alpha as doomed as people say it is?
Hey, but maybe they're very good at using AI or something, huh? You know what I mean? They grew up around technology and they might be very pro at using
Who are
technology
Generation
too.
Alpha? Gen Alpha, or people born between 2010
this
and
is
2025, is said to become the most populated
Aw,
generation
they're
in
still
history, with over
babies.
2.8 million kids born every
Holy.
week. They follow
Holy.
Gen Z and are the children of the millennial generation. Although Gen Alpha is populating a large amount of society, why do other generations think there's no hope
Oh, bro, they be populating the earth.
for this generation? With countless
be
cases
producing
of kids
kids.
acting out in public
Well, I guess maybe you produce kids a lot because there's a nanny which is named iPad.
lashing out and behaving erratically, many believe
Yeah,
that
free
Gen Alpha is
nanny.
already ruined.
Not
See,
really
babies
free, but-
and toddlers often throwing temper tantrums
Whoa.
the second
Oh,
their
sh-
smart devices
oh,
are taken
sheesh.
away. And teachers are begging parents
That's
to do
one
something
angry
because their
kid.
kids barely scrape by in school. Time
They need, you know what? You know what do they need? They need some Asian parenting. You see this slipper here? It's going straight towards your butt. How dare you use the iPad more professionally than I do, huh? You're still a kid. How could you do this to me? Oh no. You should go study. You should go look at books. You should read the dictionary. How dare you get a B+ in your school exam, huh? No food for you tonight. No snacks. Only rice. Let's go the Asian parent way. Anyways, let's continue.
and time again, we hear about just how doomed Gen Alpha is. But where are these horror stories coming from? And what
Horror
makes Gen Alpha
stories.
so different from all the generations before them?
Oh no. This is so cute though. Not the baby boomers are using the... No! It sounds so sad.
The short answer, the internet.
They
The rise of
old.
iPad kids. When you think of a kid in today's day and
No.
age, how do you picture them? Most
Yes, with the iPad. This is like the previous generation's kids. Look at this. They're go out and touch
of you
grass, but
probably
the
had an
kids right
image
now,
of a
it
kid
is
with an
just this
iPad
one.
in their hands, right? That's because Gen Alpha is not only the youngest generation, but also the most technologically dependent one. Generation Alpha was raised by screens, whether by TV, a computer, or the infamous iPad. With
Infamous iPad. When I was a kid, I just liked to watch TV, but not the movies one. I like to watch advertisements. Maybe just the advertisements just jump around and have a lot of colorful colors. I guess that's what's happening right now.
With almost 80% of kids owning an iPad or another version
Holy.
of a tablet, you can't deny the
I don't even have an iPad right now. I
nickname
only
that
have my
many call this
phone and my
generation,
laptop.
iPad kids.
This
iPad
is what
kids.
happens when mom and dad take away an iPad
Oh,
from
no.
2-year-old Ashlyn Brooks.
2-year-old. You're gonna have a whacking in my family. No iPad. You don't even have cash to buy freaking
Since their
iPad.
creation, iPads have been used as a tool for parents who are simply too busy with work. Technology has proven to
No. They're just lazy. Why would you pop out your child just for them to get parents by the screen?
be a hassle-free way of keeping kids occupied, whether at public places, social
Man.
events, or just during the day-to-day.
It's just such a lazy way to grow your kids.
With iPads being an evolved version of parenting in the 20th century, screens are simply
And yeah, your kids are going to have eyesight problems at such a young age.
considered the new nanny. And although parents may benefit from relaxing after work, iPads could
Yeah.
be doing more harm than good. It's gotten to a point where Gen
Such a cheating way
Alpha
to
is
do it.
entirely reliant on their devices, growing a digital addiction that they cannot seem to stop. In 2012, a 3-year-old boy was kicked off an Alaskan Airlines flight from Seattle because of
Only the 3-year-old? A 3-year-old was kicked off the plane. It's like, even though you guys bought a ticket to whatever vacation place you're going, no, get your child off this plane.
the extreme temper tantrum he threw after getting his iPad taken away. The kid had been playing with a tablet before
Sheesh.
takeoff, but when planes ascend
Bro, get an exercise book or something and write, maybe write a diary during the plane ride.
and all devices
Or
were
maybe a
asked to be turned
story,
off,
like
and this
what
one
I
iPad
did.
was no exception. But when flight attendants tried to get the kid to turn his tablet off, he started to wreak havoc. The child began a raging
What's the freaking parents doing,
outburst,
huh?
hitting his head against the roof of the plane and
Ouch. Wait, what? Huh? How tall is this toddler, man?
desperately begging for his tablet back. His family tried to calm him down and buckle him in so that they could take off, but no one was able to control him. Things got so bad
You gotta sellotape. You gotta plaster a plaster on his mouth or something. Shh.
that the pilot had to turn the entire plane around on the runway. The boy and his entire family was escorted off the flight, causing them to miss their vacation to St. Martin Island. And this was over 10 years ago at the start of the
Wow.
iPad Kids generation. Since then, Gen Alpha has grown
It's
more
going to get even more worse.
attached to their devices. Social media has become a part of their day-to-day routines for better or for worse, and it's caused kids to become addicted to the internet. And the stay-at-home crisis that happened
Well, I guess the kids nowadays are going to be very pro at using makeup than me.
in 2020 only made things
Ouch.
worse. Kids were locked indoors and were unable to get any sort of social interaction from other peers or teachers. Gen Alpha was treating technology like a full-time job, devoting 40 hours a week to using it, with social media being accessible to
Hey, during the pandemic, we just write our thesis at home. We don't even need to go to university.
anyone. Internet usage was at an all-time high.
I can't say it's the best thing, but I guess it's the easiest thing to do.
They
Just
couldn't
write
go
a
out to
thesis
play
at your
because
home.
of restrictions.
You don't need to go out and research something. Just search the internet. Though that time, ChatGPT wasn't even made yet.
So
So-
the only way they could get any form of contact with the outside world was through their devices. Gen Alpha was going through critical development phases during the stay-at-home crisis. The online world became their new reality because it was all they knew,
How about the parents?
considering the sort of horrible stuff that we have access to
And just watch Netflix with your kids, parents.
online. This is concerning. Technology usage on its own isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's the content that's being consumed that's the real perpetrator. Parents may think that they know what their kids are watching online, but sometimes things aren't what they
No,
seem,
no.
even in videos supposedly made for kids. Internet brain rot.
Cocomelon.
You might have heard of the term brain rot. Popularized by social media, brain rot is the term that internet users have created to describe those
I don't really
lacking
get
proper
brain rot, man.
socialization and are obsessed with digital content to an unhealthy
Brain rot content, they say it's funny, but I don't think it's funny. I'm sorry.
level.
Oh God, bro, Gen Alpha content's some of the most incoherent brain dead I've ever seen in my life, okay? Like, I can
Yes,
physically feel my
skibbity.
brain cells frying every second I've been watching this.
Level 100 Gaiat. Ice Spice Riz W Riz Gaiat. You've Gaiat to be rizzing me in Ohio at 3 a.m.
When you think about brain rot, Gen Alpha tends to be the usual demographic that comes to mind. That's because the internet has been their primary means of
God, you're this guy at
interaction with the world since they were
That's
born.
not-
Brain rot content can also be identified by the
It's
constant
frigging toilets,
usage of
man,
internet
why?
slang, overly bright colors, and attention-grabbing content that switches every few seconds. A key example is popular kids media like Skibbity Toilet that seem to capitalize on Gen Alpha's decreasing attention span by overwhelming them with hyper-stimulating content.
But it's frigging toilets. What? I really don't get
Skibbity
it.
Toilet is a web series on YouTube that features a variety of models from games like Garry's Mod and Counter-Strike as they battle in a raging war. The two
Now I get it because they're using popular games character.
sides are singing human-headed
Okay.
toilets, which are called Skibbity Toilets.
It's frigging toilets. Why?
Humanoids who have human bodies but items as their heads, like cameras
This is going to be like how the future would look like.
or TVs. The series was created by a man named Alexei Gerasimov. It first premiered on YouTube in February of 2023.
Holy, look at that.
Since the first episode was released,
the
the channel
views.
has gained over 40.6 million subscribers and has over 15 billion views to date. Each episode features the Skibbity
Whoa.
Toilets and other characters engaged in full-on conflicts, animated in
Oh
the most
god. Why don't the beams that came out from the toilet? Wait, man.
subscribers and has over 15 billion views full-on
Yeah, why don't these beams just shoots out poop or something?
conflicts animated in the most obscure and dramatic ways. There's never a dull moment in the videos, which to Gen Alpha
Maybe like a cleaning agent. Yeah, you gotta clean your
is
toilet,
the
kids.
exciting part. On the surface level, this might just seem like out-of-the-box wacky content for kids. But the harsh
I
reality
really
of
don't
it
get
is that
it.
Skibbity
Ew.
Toilet could be damaging to children. With the constant overstimulating content, kids get used to hyperactivity, making everything else feel mundane. This can cause irritability, a low attention span, and a lack of patience since kids are now so used to hyperstimulation. Parents have long since been concerned with whether or not Skibbity Toilet is appropriate for their kids to watch.
But it's scary though. Why would you like a head that comes out from your toilet? Ew. What?
It even got to a point where Russian authorities had to get involved to investigate the show. A Moscow man concerned
Whoa.
over Skibbity Toilet's detrimental effects on children asked the police to block the videos from the internet to prevent kids from watching it. This investigation has gotten mixed opinions so far, with some claiming that getting the police involved over a kids series is ridiculous. Other parents also echoed the same concern.
Well, it is ridiculous, but it also concerns your future generation, no?
Believing that Skibbity Toilet may be doing more harm than good. While there's still no conclusive answer as to whether or not the series is negatively affecting children, this form of hyper-stimulating media has become a growing trend for Gen Alpha. Parents are becoming increasingly worried that their kids are becoming like zombies because of this kind of content. Another popular kids show is Cocomelon, which is
Cocomelon.
usually targeted toward babies and younger children. Cocomelon has become one of the most famous kids shows and has been a go-to entertainment source for parents to
Yeah, my relative always shows their kids Cocomelon. Every single one of them, okay?
show their kids. But in recent months, the once favorable reputation of Cocomelon has completely shifted because now parents are starting to discover a correlation between their kids' behavioral issues and
Look
the
at the
show.
kids.
On December 26th, 2021, TikTok user It's Mama Bell posted a video that raised some serious concerns about Cocomelon. The text on the video said that she had just switched from showing her kids Cocomelon to a YouTuber called Miss Rachel, and that prior to switching, her children would just sit in front of the TV like zombies.
Why don't the kids just watch freaking anime or something? I just watched Pokemon when I was a kid. Or Naruto. I don't know if it's good, but I guess.
In the comments, countless moms agreed with her, saying that Miss Rachel, who is a YouTuber who focuses on educational content, was
Miss Rachel is going to have a blast.
much more beneficial for
Views.
their kids. More and more parents realized that their kids were becoming addicted to Cocomelon to the point where they wouldn't be able to move away from the screen, and they weren't learning anything from the show either. The show focused solely on
Yeah, they say that they don't learn anything at all. But my relative said that her child learns the alphabets from this song. She remembers the whole lyrics of the song and she can even sing the songs. I don't know if it counts as learning something. Well, maybe it's just like whether you want your kids to learn a lot, full sentences, or just the bare minimum.
Keeping the children's attention with bright colors, repetitive songs, and fast jump cuts, all of which are tactics that the show uses to keep kids hooked.
Let's see how many seconds it takes for each one of these scenes to change. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1,
Oh
2,
no.
3, 1, 2, 1,
Oh.
2, 1,
oh.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
This epidemic
Wait, it's
One,
face though. His
one.
face.
2, 1, 2, 1.
Pause it nicely. But you get the face. Where's that face, man?
2, 1, 2, 1.
And take it.
This
Never
epidemic
mind.
of overstimulation can be compared to the feeling that you get from substances. Hence why Cocomelon is so addictive
Holy.
to children.
Wait, what?
And it's not just random tick from substances.
What?
Hence
This one, an addict? Huh? So you watch Cocomelon, you're gonna get this one? Holy.
why Cocomelon is so addictive to children. And it's not just random TikTokers that have said this. Actual childhood experts have chimed in, agreeing that Cocomelon is too overstimulating for kids, which can lead to addiction. Cocomelon watchers are usually between ages 2 and 5, which are critical years when it comes to early childhood development. This is the time when kids are developing language, creativity, and social skills. And
Maybe I should send a video of this guy to my relative. See that if she wants to let her kid watch Cocomelon
shows
again.
like Cocomelon have possibly only made these tasks more difficult, and not to mention
If she really still wants to give Cocomelon to the kid, then what can I do, right?
the disturbing influx of Elsagate content
What
that's
is-
taken
oh,
over
this
all of the
one.
kid-friendly platforms. And I have a whole separate
It's
video of
rated,
that
no?
you can watch. All of this inappropriate content not only has caused concern for Gen Alpha parents, but also for teachers as well. Because not only are kids becoming more addicted to screens, but they're also doing much worse in school. The dumber generation.
The dumber generation.
It's a common theme in social media for people to say that Gen Alpha is considered one of the dumber generations. The more
Hey, who knows? The kids these days are very pro at using the freaking iPad. They're even proer than my parents, man.
kids become addicted to their screens, the harder it is for them to live a life away from it. That includes during school hours.
True.
It's as if kids are having a harder time paying attention. Like
Hey, maybe the teachers can make a slideshow for the kids so that they're hooked.
because the
Never
internet
mind.
may be conditioning their brains to shorter content, hence a shorter attention span.
Yeah, you're going to be like, A for apple, A for animal. Very fast. It's just a few seconds. You need to remember everything in such a few seconds.
Teachers around the world have been going
A for everything in 5 seconds.
viral on TikTok after sharing just how concerned they are about the educational development of their Gen Alpha students. They have said that students are now reading and writing at several grade levels behind, with a large majority of kids being unable to understand basic literacy, spelling, and grammar.
This 8th grade kid could not spell a single word.
What is this? Unique. Your neck.
Correctly on his list. 8th grade.
TikTok user QBski is an elementary school teacher from Atlanta, Georgia, who took
Hello,
to TikTok
teacher.
to express his concern for the students in his class. He said that although he teaches a 7th grade class, many of his students are nowhere near that level of education.
I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level. Ain't nobody talking about how they just keep moving, passing them on. I can put as many zeros in this grade book as I want to. They're gonna move that child to the 8th grade next year.
I can put as many zeros as I can.
Teacher even stated
As
that
I
some of
want.
the students in his class perform at kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade levels, even though they're just 2 years away from entering high school. And he's not the only
Holy.
teacher that feels this way.
And I teach at one of the more affluent schools. When I tell you that these babies cannot read, they cannot write, and they cannot comprehend, I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious.
When it comes to high school kids, it's not much better because the creator, Cool Nace, aka N, said that her 10th and 11th grade English students were only capable of performing at a 6th or 7th grade reading level despite being in their upper years of high school. And other sources continue.
What? But it's your first language though. It's okay if your second language is just very bad. You can slowly learn. You can slowly get used to that language. But it's your first language. How are you going to communicate with your parents or maybe your friends? Or maybe you don't need to communicate with your friends. You just skibbity and my gut.
And alpha kids don't only have
with your
poor
friends
learning skills.
because all the friends are all skibbities.
They have poor behavior too. Young students misbehaving in the classroom has become the new norm, and when teachers like N try to discipline them properly, it doesn't work out.
My principal told me you can't do that in Georgia. They have completely taken discipline out of education at this point, especially in Georgia. You cannot use the grade book to implement any kind of discipline or any kind of enforcement with students. And that is going to be the ruin of our kids.
But it's not just attention disorders that are at fault here.
Get me the slipper. We're gonna whip these kids back to shape.
Internet has also given Gen Alpha a golden ticket when it comes to cheating their way through school. ChatGPT.
This one. I didn't get the leeway to use it because I graduated before it came out.
AI tools like ChatGPT can easily help kids finish their homework.
Yeah, I want to know how the teachers are going to tackle ChatGPT in school, because you really can you give the kid a homework, maybe just write a whole essay on this and this. Then the kid just plug it into ChatGPT and generate their answer and just copy it down. So how are the teachers going to do this? To do it.
The shift has reduced.
During my days, we don't have that.
Emphasis on work ethic, along with valuable life skills like critical thinking and communication. Without these skills, Gen Alpha has become prone.
Yeah, I just barely missed it. I just barely missed the train. It's always like this. If there's a new building built at school, it's always only available after I graduated that year. So it's kind of sad, okay? I'm always barely able to use it, but no.
To all sorts of influences. Because since they are so conditioned to only look at the surface level, they take most of what they see on social media.
Look at that. The toddlers are even pro in using the iPad than my parents are.
As the truth without researching for themselves and questioning it. Everything they see online is immediately taken as a fact, which is detrimental to these young, impressionable kids. And companies are taking advantage of this. They're targeting a demographic that they shouldn't be. Kids. The gullible.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Why the companies are so bad?
Anywhere you go on the internet, you are destined to run into an advertisement. Whether on the TikTok shop or just casually scrolling on social media, marketing has evolved from billboards and newspapers to scrolling on your phone. Adults are able to understand what an organic piece of content is versus a paid promotion, but young kids are less perceptive of this. They use viral trends as guidelines.
The parents, bro, what are parents doing?
Plans for what they should or should not like, even if it's not meant for them.
As kids consume more online content, including advertising,
what is this?
Influenced to buy products that are just not made for them.
We see this happening all the time with Gen Alpha, especially due to the rising influence of TikTok. But
my 9-year-old
happening all the time with Gen Alpha, especially.
Holy, what? You don't even need to do any skincare in 9-year-old, okay? Do it when you're 20 or something.
Due to the rising influence of TikTok. But I
just think like the skin is going to be bad when you're older. No?
Alone. Millennials and older generations drive forward these trends and make.
They aren't supposed to use skincare in that age.
Mainstream on social media. One product being the infamous Stanley Cup.
What is this?
Of excitement.
Oh. Holy.
And tears of joy. This year's hottest status symbol and most coveted holiday gift.
I got a Stanley!
Is the Stanley Tumbler.
This tumbler cup has become the reason.
It's just a freaking Tumblr kit.
And for multiple news headlines and heavy in-person lines as early as 4 a.m. And because it's so popular, people are willing to go to the ends of the earth to get one. Although this is the new craze, if you want to get your hands on one, it won't be cheap. The Stanley Tumbler will run you back around $45 USD with
Oh, sheesh. Well, it just shows that the parents are quite wealthy.
limited edition cups costing even more than that. This cost is pretty hefty for a water bottle, and it's definitely not one that everyone can afford. But there are consequences if you can't pay for one.
Ohio mom Dana Motika went viral on TikTok, posting how her 9-year-old daughter was bullied for bringing a less expensive lookalike to school.
Dana had bought her daughter a $10 Stanley lookalike from Walmart as a gift for Christmas. Her daughter brought
Just bring a normal Tupperware.
the
Just
cup
bring
to
a normal
school
bottle,
after
man.
Christmas break, only to come home upset because kids in school were bullying her. The sole reason, because her Stanley Cup was fake. Over the break, multiple girls in her grade had gotten real Stanley Cups as presents, and they were quick to call out Dana's daughter for her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The kids that have these Stanley Cups their parents are wealthy enough to get them. But how about the non-wealthier kids?
Her due. They said that hers was not as cool and made fun of her because of it. To us, it might
Yes, it's a freaking bottle.
It's just a freaking bottle.
The kids are so mean these days.
seem wild that a young girl is being bullied over not having an expensive water bottle,
But your parents are not wealthy enough to get you that bottle. Or maybe you should buy it yourself. Go viral on TikTok or something and buy yourself that Stanley bottle.
For Gen Alpha, this is their new reality. Gen Alpha has become possibly one of the most materialistic generations ever. With so much advertising being shown at their young eyes, these kids feel the need to buy everything they see or face the fear of not fitting in. And it's not just Stanley Cups that have proven this. Earlier this year, the beauty retailer Sephora made headlines after multiple story times about Sephora 10-year-olds went viral on TikTok.
Viral clips have been going around of kids going in Sephora making a big mess.
Ew. It's
During
like
this trend,
ice
dozens of
cream.
people flooded the TikTok For You
Like
page with their
chocolate
own
vanilla.
personal horror stories with Generation Alpha shoppers at the makeup store. They complained that
poor
the kids
skin
were
girl.
rude and had no respect for anyone or anything in the store.
I'm in Sephora right now, and I'm gonna count how many 10-year-olds.
Sephora kids in the wild. You gotta catch them all.
2, 3. Currently walking past a 10-year-old getting her eyebrows done. 4, 5, 6. There's a whole group of them over here.
Kids as young as 4 were shopping in the aisles of Sephora for expensive beauty
Man, I can't afford a kid right now.
products that they
Because the kid needs to afford a lot of expensive
clearly
makeup.
did not need. The reason behind it, the internet.
All she wants for the holidays is, well, not toys, but skincare products.
All I wanted this year was skincare and makeup.
Social media has become Gen Alpha's go-to
How about you get yourself a TikTok account and go famous there and you can buy your own stuff? No?
guide for how to live their life. Whatever they see influencers do, they want to do. Whatever they see influencers
little
buy,
doggy.
they want to buy. With every beauty influencer on platforms like TikTok and Instagram becoming obsessed with skincare, it was only natural for Gen Alpha kids to follow in their footsteps. But this can be a red flag, especially for parents, as social media sets a bad example for young girls. The Sephora Kids trend is a prime example. These young girls do not need to be spending hundreds of dollars on beauty products that are targeted at adults. These products have chemicals and ingredients that can be harmful to kids, especially the ones that have gone viral online.
Their poor skin, man. The poor
Elephant
baby
is the
skin.
name on every Gen Alpha's tongue. Originally a skincare brand
companies.
meant for millennials, now a larger portion of Drunk Elephant.
The worst thing is that the parents indulge their kids
Its
too.
consumer base consists
Using this
of
stuff.
beauty-obsessed kids. With products priced from $20 to upwards of over $100, this is definitely not a brand that most kids can afford to buy, at least without the help of their parents. But is this really something that parents want to be getting?
Her eyes, though.
At least
Her
without
eyes
the
gotta
help
be-
of their parents.
What's
But
that?
is this really something that parents want to be getting for their kids. Many of these drunk elephant products contain ingredients like peptides, acids, and retinol, which can all be damaging to youthful skin. Retinol is a form of vitamin A that's known for its anti-aging effects, with higher concentrations being used to fight wrinkles. These kinds of high concentrations are regularly found in beauty products and are definitely not meant for young girls. But it's not only physical health concerns the parents are having about this growing obsession with skincare and makeup. It's also the mental effects too.
Social media is doing this, and this could be setting up a lot of young girls with issues that'll follow them well into adulthood.
Young girls are constantly being overwhelmed with societal beauty standards and ever-changing trends in fashion and beauty. And for Gen Alpha, this pressure has only increased with the influx of social media influencers. They look up to influencers more than they do their own parents. But is this influence positive or negative? I'm addicted.
Oh.
Gen Alpha is social media obsessed. It's said that by the
parents need to confiscate everything.
age of 1, the average Gen Alpha kid already has over 100 pictures of them posted on social media. Almost every Gen Alpha kid is on social media.
Oh, holy, they're even more.
It's their main form of communication with their friends and where they get the latest news. But their social media screen time
There gotta be quote-unquote news.
is often unregulated by parents, so there's no telling what these Gen Alpha kids
Confiscate their freaking phones.
watching on their devices, and that's the scary part. Although most social media platforms have age restrictions or content guidelines, kids can easily
This thing, is there anyone who actually follow this thing?
bypass them
No.
just by lying about their age. And regardless if the platform is meant for younger audiences, anyone
Yeah, because curiosity.
can break the rules by posting
But curiosity might kill the cat.
inappropriate content anyway. TikTok,
Holy,
the most
whoa.
popular platform for Gen Alpha, is a mishmash of all different sorts of content. The For You page throws a bunch of different videos together in an endless scroll, showing users the type of content that they like, as well as new content that they've never seen before. One of the most common trends that you can find on social media is thirst trapping. This form of content is meant to attract attention from viewers, usually in the form of posing, dancing,
no.
or acting seductively. Although the
no.
nature of this content is meant for a much older audience, there's a ton of kids participating in these trends without realizing its implications. It's become more and more common to see a Gen Alpha kid dressed up in revealing clothing making thirst trap content, which in itself is already unsettling. But not to mention, there's no telling who's watching or saving this content online, which can leave them vulnerable to a certain audience that may have other intentions. With the influx of
It's going to be very bad. You're gonna attract the weird
promotions,
audience.
adult content is becoming more accessible. With social media heavily influencing young people, it's become difficult for them to see the importance of real relationships. 1 in 4 children go outside to play nowadays, missing crucial social interactions.
The kids this day don't even touch grass.
Most of Gen Alpha spends their time indoors consuming media meant for adults. The severe dopamine addictions from internet platforms like TikTok have resulted in negative effects on younger generations, as simple as enjoying their day-to-day life. Kids no longer have the patience for anything because they're so used to the instant gratification that social media provides them. Kids can't do simple, everyday tasks like brushing their teeth, eating food, or using the restroom without the constant stimulation of a screen. Gen Alpha becomes impatient and frustrated at the drop of a hat, with even the smallest inconveniences getting blown out of proportion, turning into full tantrums or breakdowns. With most of their learning coming from the internet,
They want saving my Gen Alpha skibbity cousin. I don't know if my kid, not my kid. I don't know if my relative's kid watched Skippity Toilet. Maybe, I don't think she watches that, but Cocomelon, yeah.
they're being exposed to horrible behavior from those entitled influencers that they see online.
Oh no.
And when you look at the biggest influencers now who flaunt their opulent
crying.
lifestyles and endorse things like OnlyFans, are these really the people you want raising your children?
Now the question is,
You want your kid to watch OnlyFans? That's quite a little bit jump in age
is
there.
Generation Alpha really doomed? I've talked a lot
Maybe
about
not,
the problems
maybe
of
not.
Gen Alpha, but there are still
They're still savable. Save
many
them,
strengths
parents.
that they have. Gen
It's your
Alpha has
kids.
access to more resources, knowledge, and tools than ever before. They're living in an exciting time, with technology advancing at such a rapid pace and them being so
AI.
adaptable to it.
Yeah, why don't all the kids do AI or something? Try to make an AI that can help a business in the future, maybe.
If they're able to use the internet for
Yeah, because the kids nowadays grow around AI. So
good
they
rather
might
than
be more pro than
bad,
us.
they can become some of the most intelligent people
Yes,
on the planet.
that's
And
what
they're
I'm
also born
saying.
with empathy inside them. The future can be bright for Gen Alpha. All they need is a little guidance and a push in the right direction.
Yeah, the kids nowadays are smart, is what I'm saying.
We, as people who care, can monitor what our siblings are doing on social media. And as adults, we can teach our kids the value of hard work, and we can be better examples for them to follow.
Yeah,
My friends, it's time
let
to
them watch documentaries or something, animal documentaries.
stop the internet from destroying this generation. Visual Venture.